Hello everyone and welcome to web designing demo class. What is a web designing? Web designing is a process of creating a web page that focus on layout, user interface and other visual elements to make a website more appealing and easy to use. Every business have a website. So whether it's a online shopping, booking sites, search engine or an informative website, front-end technology is always same. It is HTML, CSS and JavaScript. These are the basic building block. There are different framework of JavaScript like Angular, React, Vue.js and so on. But basic building block of a web page is always the same, which is HTML and CSS. So let's first see which IDE we can use. There are different editors you can use to create a website, and Brackets is one of them. So it's open source, you can download from this website. After installing this Bracket, you can create a file here, new. Now before writing the code, let's understand the directory structure. So you can open any folder and create a new directory. Give the name of the website. I'll specify here my site. Inside that we need a folder for images, another folder for CSS, one more folder for JavaScript, maybe for PDF and so on. All the CSS files we have to store inside this folder and images in this JavaScript file here and PDF here. Or if it is a videos, so we can store in videos or video. Now let's save this file. Here I'll give index.html and inside this folder I can save this file. Let's save this. Now let's generate a scratch code. So it is very easy here because I am using here Emmet extension, which you can download from here, file, and go to extension manager and search here Emmet and then install it. This will help us to generate some scratch code. I'll use the exclamation mark here. The shortcut is Alt Control Enter and then see the code here. This is the title. Okay, here we have tag. Most of the tag they start and close. For example, here head start and close, body start and close, HTML start and close. But few tags they just start, like here meta, doc type. So for closing we have to just use slash here. So these are HTML tags, and inside body let's create heading here. This is web designing. Now let's save and then open in a browser. So here you can see live preview. Click on this and the page will be open on a browser. So this is a web page. Now what are the common elements of a web page? Let's open. So in a web page you can see image, text, a link, you can see some kind of animation here, form elements you can see here, the button, map, all these are common element of any web page, audio, video. Now we use HTML language, which is hypertext markup language, to display something on the web page. It can be a text, it can be an image, it can be a video, audio, anything. So this is HTML. So here I displayed a text, which is, this is a web designing. Now let's see how to add image. To add image, I'll use img image tag, then the attribute is source here. And inside image, let's pick the image. So first of all, you should put the image inside this folder. Now I'll save it, open in a browser and see here. This is the heading and then image. Now let's control the height and width, which I can do in HTML and CSS both. Usually we write CSS for this. See here. So this way we can add text, image. Let's add a link, which is anchor tag, hyper reference, and then here we can specify the link. Jupiter Vidya. Okay, so here is a link. Now let's go back here to the page. Now you can see here, this is a link. If I click on this link, this URL will be opened. Now let's go back here. So these are HTML elements. These are HTML tags which help us to create a web page. Some text is there. Let's add a paragraph here. This is Jupiter Vidya. Now see here the normal text. So this is without CSS. Now let's add a CSS. I'll add here CSS. Now what is CSS? CSS is a cascading style sheet that help us to design the page. Now HTML can display something on the web page. It can be any element, a form element, image, text, audio, video. But then how it is displayed, that is decided by the CSS. So like font, color, position, spacing, animation, all these things. We can add CSS inside head under style, or it can be external CSS or inline CSS. So here I am specifying inside the head. Let's change the heading 1. So here first I have to specify H1 and then I'll change the color. Make it some other color, let's say red. And then I'll change the alignment of the text. I'll make it center. And now see, you can see here, this is web designing. Alignment is changed. Now let's put a background color. Now you can see here. Now I'll increase the font size of this paragraph. So here I have to write P paragraph and then change the font size. Make it maybe 18 pixel. So you can see here. Now let's change the font type of this paragraph. So here I can use font family and these are the options. But what if I want some other option here? Now let's use Google font. So you can go here in Google, search Google fonts. This is the official website of Google font, and then you can choose the font which you like. So let's scroll down, maybe okay, this looks nice, so I'll use this one. So how to use this? Click here plus and then this family is selected, open it. This is the external link because this file is stored in their server. So I have to copy this one. This is the way we add external CSS. I'll include this file here, and then to use this one we have to use this code, font family. I'll replace this one. So very easy. This is the font I'll use for paragraph. Now let's save it, go back here, and now see here, this is the font. So very simple step. Now let's do one thing. I'll change the body background color and make it light, so you cannot see the difference, much difference. Let's do one thing. I'll put maybe this color. Now you see here. So we can do all these things, alignment. Let's do one thing. Let's change the image. So here I'll use image and then I'll change the width and height. Width maybe 400 pixel. You can specify height. Now you can see here. Now how to comment? To comment, just put control and slash. This is the comment. So comment means this part of the code is ignored. Now see, that will not apply. That CSS will not apply. Now I'll do something which once you hover, let's do one thing. I can put the comment this way also. I'll do one thing here. I'll change the border radius, make it 50%. Now see here, when you hover, it is 50%. And maybe I can decrease the opacity, let's say 0.4. Now see here, opacity is decreased. Why it is not circle? Because here height and width is not same, so let's change it. I'll make it width 400 and height also 400 pixel. Now it is a square. Now see here, once you hover, because this is on hover, once you hover then only this property will be applied. So height and width will change to 400 by 400, then border radius is 50%. Now you see here, this is what we can do with CSS. Then what is JavaScript? JavaScript is a scripting language that adds the behavior in a web page. For example, if you go to a page, let's say this website, so it can do some validation, it can do some calculation, JavaScript can do even animation, JavaScript can do lots of things. Now, if someone send this message without entering these detail, you'll see the message here. This is the validation message. See, this is the required field. So this can be done with the help of JavaScript. So using HTML you can display something on a web page. Using CSS you can design a very nice page with a layout, color, font, all these things. But then it will be a static page. Now we need a behavior in a web page, because nowadays most of the applications are user based, like user has to interact more. For example, if you open this website, you book a ticket, flight ticket or any ticket, where user do lots of interaction. Okay, so this kind of application need user interaction more, and then JavaScript play a very important role here. For example, here let's filter it. I want non-stop before. Now see what is happening here. So I'm able to interact with the application. That interaction on client side can be done with the help of JavaScript. So here let's do one thing. I'll create one small event. I'll create a button. Click here, and then how to add JavaScript. Here inside script you can write the code. I'll create a function. Let's call it function fun, and then here I'll give a message, alert message. Let's print you clicked on button, and then I'll bind this event on click. I'll call this function. So very simple example. Let's click on this button. So once we click, this pop-up window is appear. Or runtime, I want to modify this text. So how to do that? So here I'll add ID here. I'll give here name. So ID is unique identifier. So you should have a different ID for different element. So to group the element we use class, and for individual element we use ID. Now here I'll call the event here on mouse over. I'll call a function. Let's call it function 1. And okay, let's create a function here. Function 1. Then I'll get the element using this HID. So how to get it? Document dot get element by ID. So name of the ID is HID. And then I'll access the inner HTML. So inner HTML means the value inside this. This is the text. So here I'll change this. I'll say this is JavaScript. And then at the same time, let me just fetch it again. I'll apply the style and I'll change the color, make it blue. Now let's go back here. Now once you hover here, see what happened. The text color is changed and the text itself changed here. Once you hover here, so this is what JavaScript can do. So JavaScript add the behavior in a web page. So page is designed with the help of HTML and CSS. So these are basic building blocks. Then we have a jQuery. jQuery is a library of JavaScript. There are common features that we can use directly with the help of jQuery, like DOM manipulation, animation. We can traversing, all these things. Another thing is there Bootstrap. Bootstrap is again very famous framework of HTML and CSS and JavaScript. So all these things we'll cover in this course with the live example.